YouTube, chicks. Get ready.
You know what to do, chicks.
I find him. You know, I like Chick Smooth. Chick Smooth is somebody I really enjoy listening to on YouTube because Chick just got an intellectual curiosity about things.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. This has been an absolute nightmare of a week for Trap Lil Ross. Right now, Trap Lil Ross is learning the difference between YouTube and real life. Just because you make YouTube videos about a certain topic, a certain person, a certain crime, a certain case, doesn't mean that you know the ins and outs of that specific topic. Now, for those that are not aware, Lil Durk's federal murder for hire trial began on Monday. There's a bunch of YouTubers and also actual journalists that are at the courthouse covering the case. Sometimes you can't really tell who's actually there to cover the case because they actually care about it versus who's actually clout chasing. If you ask me, ever since the Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion shooting case, YouTubers realized just how easy it is to be able to sit in for some of these high-profile cases. So now every time when a celebrity is currently going through a trial, you're going to see a lot of YouTubers and independent content creators at the courthouse. 2 weeks ago, there was a huge conversation in hip-hop about who's an actual journalist versus who's just doing content for the sake of content. We saw academics lashing out and calling out actual journalists, claiming they're not doing their jobs well. They're not connecting certain dots, they're not asking the right questions, and ultimately called them out for not doing journalism work like Trap Lil Ross and What's the Dirt. Well, fast forward 2 weeks later, we're seeing exactly why certain YouTubers cannot be journalists, and that's okay. Trap Lil Ross, who's currently there covering the case every single day, is being called out for the way he's covering this case. Now, on the very first day, Trap Lil Ross started off the week with a bang. He went on to tweet saying, "Durk just blamed everything on Vonnie. What the fuck?" Now, this tweet went viral. It sparked a conversation. People started to weigh in on whether or not Lil Durk was a snitch.
Lil Durk is a snitch. Nah. Hey, listen, man. It's too many of y'all. Listen, one thing about the exposers. When we call you a rat because you ratted, it's documented, it's right there. Let's get this right. This guy went over here and made a deal with the feds. He made a deal with the feds and said, I did all this and all this and all this and all that. I committed all these acts, whatever they may be, because Lil Durk told me to do it and paid me to do it. This is what he said. He put that out there already. Lil Durk's attorneys simply said, hey, you did all that because you wanted to do all that. Yes, you did all that. How do we know? Because you copped to the federal agents to say you admitting to doing that. He admitted to doing that. So if he admitted to doing that and then followed up with Durk told me and paid me to do it, I did it for Durk. Is Durk not supposed to say, I ain't paid you to do nothing. I don't know about nothing you talking about. You did that because you chose to do that. And the people know you did that not because I told them. It's because you told them. So how you calling Durk a rat? Hey, look, man, some of y'all civilians who ain't never did time, been in no courtrooms and all of that, y'all need to stop talking. Y'all sound crazy, man. Free Durk.
Even one of the lawyers that's covering the case came out and called out Trap Lil Ross.
This headline and this tweet from Ross, I got to talk to Ross. This is not a story. Durk did not just blame everything on Vonnie. What the fuck? Vonnie got picked up by cops, admitted to everything, admitted to getting the cars, arranging the flights, admitted to getting the guns, buying the ski masks, admitted to getting Sprinter vans and taking everybody around. And then he said, I did all of it while facing life in prison. I did all of it because Durk Banks paid me to do it. And now Durk Banks is in court saying, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And to put out a headline that says, oh, Durk just blamed everything on Vonnie, what the fuck? No. Putting that out, what the fuck?
Now, as a journalist, this is a big no-no. You're only supposed to report the facts of the case. You're not supposed to speculate. You're not supposed to use your own opinions. If you're going to cover a certain case, you gotta just cover the facts. Now, once the case is over, you can then give your own opinion, which is actually one of the main differences between a real journalist and a YouTuber. As a YouTuber, you're used to speculating in your videos. Shit, you might even over-exaggerate certain parts just for the sake of entertainment. However, as a journalist, you gotta stick to the fact. Now, the next day, Trap Lil Ross was confronted by a couple people.
After the Uma, brother, you made a folly, a fugaboo, where you said that Lil Durk is blaming everything on Vonnie. To the person,
that's
no,
what
listen.
Was said. That is what
but
was said.
but
I can't do this right now,
but no,
bro.
listen. I want you to clear that. No, I need you to clear that up. I need you to,
that's what
brother.
was said in court, bro.
But no, that's not what's said in court. That's the legal team. Vonnie took. Listen, why are you running, my guy? This is what I'm saying. Vonnie, listen. This is all I'm telling you. Hold on, my Belizean brother. Listen, all I'm saying is Vonnie took accountability and then tried to drag Durk in.
Why did Didi's lawyer say that Vonnie is acting with the cartel?
I have no idea. All I'm saying is we don't want you to put the narrative out there that Lil Durk is on the stand or testifying against anybody. You said Durk is blaming it on him.
He is.
He's not. The legal team is saying he has nothing to do with Vonnie except the responsibility for it. Do you understand? Do you understand the difference, sir? Huh? Okay.
You know that I never said he was snitching, by the way. That 6ix9ine jumps on that. He put me in it, making it out like I said that. I said he put it on Vonnie. They're saying that's what he's supposed to do.
Both not snitching.
I never said he
All
was
rest
snitching.
of that, he ain't snitching. I'm Trap Lil cool. Look, we support y'all little rest.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Come on, man.
There you go. Y'all heard it.
But I got nothing but respect for the Free Durk people. You know, I'm not anti-Durk. I'm not pro-Durk. I'm really just like a fan of the music. I've been following this for years, and you know, I want to see.
But you have a King Von tattoo on your leg.
I do have a King Von tattoo on my leg. That is true.
So
He's one of my favorite rappers.
About Durk with
When they play it back again in the courtroom, you know that's going to be a crazy day. I can't wait for that. But anyway, yeah.
What made you get it? What inspired you to get it?
One of my favorite rappers.
Okay.
Changed my life.
And finally today, Trap Lil Ross was also confronted and he's officially reached his breaking point. Trap Lil Ross went on to tweet, "I'm getting bullied into deleting posts now. Wow. I might take a break from tweeting. Durk's team is acting very unprofessional. Screaming delete the tweet in my face outside the courtroom, leading to court marshals having to step in. Very disappointing and intimidating conduct towards the press in this case."
Cannot believe what just happened inside the courthouse. This isn't even about Durk. This one's actually about me. There's been a very controversial post that has been going around. Everybody's very upset that I basically did a tweet about that post that Didi had reshared. All right. The prosecution had worded it in a way that it sounded like Didi had posted it. And I posted that on Twitter. I came back and Didi's lawyer spent a whole hour breaking down in meticulous detail how this was a repost. It wasn't an original post. Didi hadn't typed the post. He had reposted it into a group chat. It was that post that said, "@Quando Rondo, where your pipe at gang." He had reposted it into a chat along with his own comment, basically saying he looking crazy. Like he basically... It was he playing crazy, right? So as soon as I got out of court after hearing Didi's lawyer argue that point very, very well, maybe a little bit too well, maybe the point had already come home before, you know, he talked about it for a much longer time than he needed to talk about it. And I felt like he might have brought more attention to the fact that that was a bit of an unsavory thing to repost. I posted that. As soon as I got out, I said Didi's lawyer just clapped back. But for some reason, it seems like the people at the courthouse, the people that have been following this case, and Durk's team specifically, they're not reading everything. They're over here reading the transcripts, but they're not reading all of my tweets. So everybody was upset about the tweet that I posted when I got out the courtroom the first time. Nobody had talked about the second tweet where I said that Didi's lawyer just clapped back. And I got confronted by Lil Durk's PR woman. She screamed in my face outside the courtroom, "Delete the tweet." I said, What do you mean? Like, what about Didi's lawyer talking for an hour about, you know, basically making the point? I said, I came out the courtroom. I was given the impression that Didi had posted it. Didi's lawyer went back into the courtroom. He made it very clear. He made a very long, extended, maybe an overextended argument about why that wasn't the case. He got his point home. He got his point further than home, all right? He got the point so far home that he might have, you know, left it on screen a little bit too long and made things look a little bit bad. Durk's PR person said, "I'm not talking about that. We're not talking about that." So they're just ignoring the facts. They're pressing me over stuff that's like incomplete information. I'm just coming out the courtroom, giving you guys the updates as soon as I possibly can. Yes, sometimes the prosecution are going to say things that aren't true. Sometimes the defense are going to say things that aren't true. Brian Steele said several things that are absolutely false when he was doing cross-examination just now. He referred to King Von as K. Von Bennett numerous times. That's not his name. Is anyone going to call out Brian Steele for getting that wrong? No, of course they're not, right? He made a bunch of other mistakes. He said that Quando Rondo had crowned and anointed Lil Tim as King Tim after the killing of King Von. No, he didn't. It was a random other rapper from Savannah, Georgia that put that out after King Von died. And then he also said numerous times that King Von was murdered. Was not a murder. The prosecution made it very clear it was a self-defense killing. Yes, he was charged with murder, but it was not proven as a murder. So no one's going to talk about Brian Steele literally getting up in the courtroom and lying. People want to get onto me for making a tweet and then basically updating you when I heard from Dee Dee's lawyer. It's insane.
Now, first of all, Trap Lil Ross should have definitely seen this coming. Yesterday on Twitter, Durk's PR lady called him out. Then she went on to say, I'm all for digital media, new media, content creators, or whatever you choose to call yourself covering news and current events. But for Pete's sake, be accountable, be accurate, especially in a space where the folks at the top still don't fully acknowledge you, respect the medium, or even want you in the room. Credibility is your currency. Don't give anyone the reason to discount the entire space because you couldn't be bothered to get the facts right. Do better. Then she went on to say, I slide for the truth. Good night. Now, she also responded to Trap Lil Ross' tweet where he called her out for screaming in his face and being unprofessional. She said, was that before or after Special Agent Farm B told you to keep up the good work in the restroom? Wait, what's going on? Like I said, have some integrity and respect the bounds of what's actually stated in court testimony, and I won't have a thing to say to you. God damn. Now, just before that tweet, Trap Lil Ross actually called out Durk's lawyer. He said Brian Steele just told multiple lies during cross-examination. Now, this was absolutely crazy. You cannot do this as a journalist. You're not supposed to pick sides. You're not supposed to call anybody out for lying. You have to let the lawyers do what they do in court. You are there to report the facts of the case, brother. You are not there to fact check anyone. This is not a YouTube video where you get to decide who's lying and who's not according to your opinion. That's why Durk's team have been pressing you and have an issue with you. Your coverage so far has been looking a little bit biased, which is why even academics called out Trap Lil Ross today, telling him, brother, stick to the facts. Do not tell us your opinion.
Now, Trap, here's the thing, too, about calling out Brian Steele, quote unquote, for lying. If there's no objections, if the agent on the stand that's a government witness is answering the questions, you don't have to be the whistleblower. Oh, now I called him lying. Brother, you're reporting on the case. You don't have to edit. It's a little bit of extra editorializing. You know what I mean? If Brian Steele lies, it's for the government to catch it. And if the government lies, it's for Brian Steele to catch it. That's how it is. This is one-on-one here. They on the court right now. This ain't for the nigga. Yo, it's like the nigga like that's in the nosebleeds shouting out, yo, ref, he traveled. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's kind of what it is. You know what I mean? So now, of course, in your opinion, you could give it. But, you know, like right now we're reading these tweets to hear exactly what's happening. Okay? Exactly what's happening.
So listen, man, if I'm Trap Lil Ross, you gotta be extra careful. He's already beefed up security. He used to have one security person with him. Now today, he's got two. You gotta realize, this is real life. There's lives at stake here. Durk could possibly go away for a very long time. And the man has family and friends that he takes care of. You gotta know he has a lot of people that love him. A lot of people that's willing to sacrifice a lot of things for him. You have to be careful with the way that you're reporting this case. And shit, you gotta be careful even just going there every single day back and forth to the courtroom. If this case does not have a favorable outcome for Lil Durk, best believe people are going to be looking at you and blaming you for it. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of Trap Lil Ross, the way he's been covering this case? Do you guys think it's professional for people to be pressing him? Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.